What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG, TikTok, bottom video, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So, today we will be doing a reaction to Game 7. As if you haven't seen yet, the Oklahoma City Thunder won a Game 7, and SGA took home the Finals MVP. So, hopping first into the game. First thing, get out the way is obviously if you haven't seen Tyrese Halliburton got injured. Obviously, we haven't confirmed what the injury is yet, but knowing a calf strain and how he fell, he most likely probably tore his Achilles and probably will be out for next season as well. So that's very sad to see. Especially early in this game, we definitely wanted to see their best player because he was hooping. Now I don't know, Tyrese not exactly an explosive scorer, so I don't know if he would have went for 40 or some shit like that. But it just would have been nice to see Tyrese, in this game all the way to the end. But sad we didn't get to see that, and it's sad that he got injured like that. But hoping the best for his recovery. So now getting to the game. First, another game they started with the two bigs. Chet. Obviously Chet and Hartenstein. Now they did something different down the stretch, but we'll get into that. As I've stressed all playoffs, I think last game 6 was the first game that they started the two bigs and lost. That's the only game in their series they did. I mean, they just got ran off the floor last game, so I don't think last game was showing any kind of trajectory of what they're gonna do with their team going forward. But yeah, I do think they'll stay with the two bigs because obviously it has some type of effect in the future. Obviously. Early in this game, I feel like we're going a lot of heavy Shea ISO, trying to put Shea in the middle for letting their best player decide the game. And I agree with that. That's something I would totally do as a coach, especially when you have a great scorer like Shea. Let him go to work. Now, it might result in foul calls or it might result in, him passing the ball, which tonight it resulted in him passing the ball. He didn't really shoot well from the field, but he passed the ball well, and that helped his team a lot. Now, a big thing definitely early was Cason Wallace's defense. Cason Wallace felt like he got his hand on every damn ball in the first half. Now I think he ended up coming with like 3-4 steals. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Actually, let me go look. Cason Wallace finished with 3 steals. I think they all were in the first half, but he was getting his hands on a lot of shit. That one where he poked McConnell and gave the ball to Chet, and Chet got a foul call to end the first quarter. That was a big play. Obviously we know they have historical defensive personnel. I actually do a video on that if y'all hear, from the basketball documentaries and shit. But yeah, obviously we knew that they had already a historical defensive personnel, and Wallace definitely helped with that a lot in the first half. Now, in the first half, it definitely was an up and down game. Pacers were definitely playing very well without Halliburton, especially to end the first half. Obviously, I kind of expected that a little bit, just because for the simple fact, usually when teams do their best player like that, one, they either get really motivated and play really hard. But what also helps them is already Indiana style of play, even when Halliburton is healthy, because obviously they play team basketball, they play very deep. So it was just like, yeah, Halliburton is their engine, but it's like, yeah, we have 7, 8 niggas that can go at least get us 10 points a game. So if we can get 7, 8 niggas to contribute like we usually do, we probably still would be fine. But it didn't end up working out for them. So I do usually I don't talk about singular players on here, but one singular player I do want to talk about is Nembhard step back to in the first half buzzer. That shit was tough. That shit was tough. The tween hop step, that shit was tough. That shit was tough. Nembhard gonna score the loudest 13, 14 points you ever seen in your life. Like the way he scored, you would think he averaged 25. Go look, 13. Man, that shit is hilarious. But he gonna get a nice bucket, a nice highlight bucket. But yeah. So going into the second half, what they said they did different, like I said earlier, was that they didn't start Hartenstein. They actually started Alex Caruso. Now usually when they take Hartenstein out of starting lineup, it's Cason Wallace. But this time they went with Caruso, which don't really make a difference, playing very much similar roles. So, and both are great defenders who, great guard defenders like that. So it wasn't really doing it. Now I feel like Caruso probably is a better defender for bigger players. Obviously they put him on Jokic and things of that sort. But as far as guarding guards, same player. McConnell was hooping his motherfucking ass off. I will say that. McConnell, I don't know how much. Let me look how much he finished with, but I know at some point he had like 16. He finished with 16. Damn, I ain't realized Benedict Mathurin had 14. But I thought before I get into McConnell real quick, I did think Benedict Mathurin, if they were going to win this game, Benedict Mathurin was going to have a huge part of it, just for the simple fact that Benedict Mathurin is really probably their third best scorer, but the way they play team basketball, you'll never know. And also, if I'm being honest, I feel like Rick Carlisle doesn't like a lot of Benedict Mathurin antics, so he doesn't play him as much as he should. But it's also kind of weird to play on rotation because they just play so many players. But Benedict definitely deserved to play more minutes because Benedict is just that talented of a player. So I don't get that one exactly. But in the McConnell played a great game. Like obviously I said, same thing with kind of Benedict, same thing when I said with Halliburton going down. This their play style. They have so many players that actually contribute to what they're doing. So sometimes it's not even a drop off. And honestly, towards what was that the end of game 5, McConnell was actually outplaying Halliburton when he first got that calf injury. Because like I said, when he first got that calf injury, Halliburton, I ain't gonna say first because he's been dealing with it, but like game 5, he was very like lethargic in what he was doing. So when McConnell came in, McConnell was very aggressive, trying to push the pace, getting in the nigga. So he definitely did a big thing on his game. He had a great game again today. So shout out to TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell definitely played his ass off. Now, a big difference that came into this game, a big difference that went into this game, starting this, in the second half was turnovers. I think if I read the stat correctly, in the third quarter, the Oklahoma City Thunder had 18 points off a turnover to Indiana 0. So points off a like turnovers is going to get you killed every time. Obviously, I'm not. Turnovers have already been kind of a thing for Indiana in this series. I just think because the one they play high speed, that even though they usually take care of the ball well, high speed usually offenses like that do usually guarantee you a couple turnovers for the simple fact it's just the nature of the game. And also, you are playing one of the greatest defense ever. Probably the greatest defense I've seen with my own two eyes, just for the simple fact I was too young to see that Detroit Pistons team. They was '04, I was born in '02, so I didn't see that. Let's be for real. So definitely the greatest defensive team I've ever seen in my own eyes. So that's just going to cause issues. And down the stretch here, it was a big thing. Turnovers really in general. I think they might have ended. Let me look at the box score. But off the top of my head, I want to say they ended 21 turnovers to 7 that Oklahoma had all game. 8. It was so they ended 23 to 8. 32 points off of turnovers for OKC with 10 against for Indiana. So turnovers. Like if you not getting a shot up at the rim, that's just gonna make a big difference because you don't never get the shot up, especially a lot of turnovers they were getting because they were getting a lot of live ball turnovers. Like I told you, Casey Wiles was picking niggas. I mean, was poking niggas in the first half. Pause. Lou Dort, you see him run that nigga. I think it was McConnell down the end. He poked him. Casey running him down. They just get a lot of live ball turnovers that turn into fast break opportunities, and they just have great athletes. So it's kind of hard, to stop them once they get rolling. You get Jalen Williams downhill, you get an athlete like Chet. Obviously, Shea gonna get a bucket, but yeah, it's just hard to stop them. So turning the ball over is definitely live ball turns is definitely a recipe for a disaster with anybody you play, especially with a team this great. Now, another part of their defense that was so great tonight was Chet Holmgren's rim protection. I know he had 5 blocks at a point. I don't know if he finished with 5, but his rim protection all game was absolutely phenomenal. He did finish with 5, but not just him obviously blocking shots. Blocking shots obviously part of rim protecting, but changing people's shots, sliding your feet on defenders to make it a hard shot, being able to be switchable, all kind of things. Chet is really one of those guys when it comes to the defensive end, and as good as Wemby is, he probably Chet. It's gonna be hard to take a defense player a year away from Wemby in these coming years, but Chet's going to have to get him one. The way Chet plays defense, Chet is going to eventually get him a depoy. I don't know how and what way, but Chet has to eventually get him one because Chet is one of them niggas on the defense. And, well, he's not a nigga, but but we seen how great he is defensively tonight, and I think he was definitely a big part of them taking the game in control in the second half. Now, I didn't really get in this earlier, but obviously I did want to get in this because Shea won the Finals MVP. So obviously Shea struggled to shoot tonight. It was very obvious, 8 for 27. But I tell people all the time, I don't value if our niggas be like, oh, he's shooting 2 days in this and yada yada yada. Even though Shea has been shooting decent all season, I will say I don't value shot percentages and shit like that as much. Just for the simple fact is, and I don't value as much as the process because shooting is frugal. There's a lot of shit that you unexplainable shit when it comes to shooting percentages. And you can go that 1 year Steph Curry shot under 40% from three. Why did Steph shoot under 40% from three? We don't fucking know. He was shooting the same way, shooting the same shots he always shoot. It's a very complicated thing. It's like hitting a baseball. Like sometimes, nigga, you just like we seen with baseball, they are on a streak. They're phenomenal at hitting the baseball, and then sometimes it feel like them niggas never swung a bat in their life. It's just a skill that happens to be like that sometimes. And I think shooting a basketball is a lot like that because the thing about 3 point shooting, a great 3 point shooter is only going to shoot like the average one is probably like 37, 38% for a good one. 40 makes you pretty much great to elite. But you shooting 38% and they saying you a good 3 point shooter. That nigga, you missing damn near a third 2/3 of your shots. Like, but you still like that's just the type of skill it is. So I don't know why people put so much values into these shooting numbers when the process is it and he won. So fuck the 8 for 27. Fuck it. One, I respect the 20 for 7 because he got the shots up. Because like I say, I said this last time, Shea know even when he off, he need to get them shots up. So he gonna shoot 30 shots even when he ain't hitting shit. And I respect the hell out of that. I respect the hell out of that because that means he's trying. He's being aggressive. And when they need him, he probably gonna come through as we seen in game 4. When down the stretch, he stayed aggressive and he got them a game. Like I fuck that shooting percentage. But then on top of that, Shea had 12 assists. Shea did great that he adjusted from game 6. It was some possession because he turned the ball over a lot in game 6, but it was just some possessions. He got kind of sped up. The double teams were coming. Rick Carlisle is a great coach, has a lot of experience, so he knows defensive strategy, defensive coverage, just to throw at him, when to throw at him, when to throw a new wrinkle at him, when to throw something that he maybe seen already. He knows when to do all these things. And it sped Shea up a little bit, made him in some bad decisions. But Shea adjusted well, and he trusted his teammates, and that's why he had 12 assists tonight, and that helped him win a game. So forget the shooting percentage. The nigga won, and he made sure his team was eating. So I don't want to hear nothing about no 8 for 27. Now, next question is, where does Indiana go from here? Obviously, like I already said earlier, Tyrese is going to definitely be out for next season. It won't come back to the 26-27 season. That's just timetable with Achilles. Um, he is an engine to their offense, but they can, be a decent team, obviously, because they just went to the damn finals. But I'm looking at it now. Their free agents are Turner, Johnson, Bryant, Bradley, and Jackson. So them are not actually bad free agents to do some people lose. Obviously, you probably want to retain Turner and one of the backup bigs. But James Johnson is probably going to retire. Ian Jackson is young, but he's coming off Achilles, and they'll probably sign him. But them not. They got Nembhard and Neesmith for the next couple of years. Obviously, Halliburton's under contract. Pascal. So they're going to be a good team next year. Obviously, they're probably not going to do this again. Honestly, teams like this who don't, obviously, last time we seen a team like this, we can say the Spurs. But the Spurs is kind of difficult to put them in there. They're kind of more of a dynasty because they've been, 5 times. But so if we go back past that, we can go to the Mavericks, even though they had Dirk, who was a superstar. But the Mavericks and the Pistons. So both of those teams didn't really do anything after, after thing. Usually it's kind of a lightning in the bottle thing. So if we go off of history, I will say the Pacers is probably not going to do this again, especially without Tyrese Halliburton. But just the way they play basketball is very unique, and it's so wounded in their depth, and just everybody contributing. That I could see them being a good team next year, but they're definitely not going to be doing this again, at least next year, just because Halliburton's injured. But yeah, next thing, where does OKC go from here? Obviously, let me look up who's OKC's contracts first. So everybody is under contract for next season. Oh, wait, is that player options? I'm trying to figure out what this text me. But everybody at least oh, okay. They must be talking about who's up first. So everybody's under contract at least besides Carlson, Flagler, and Duckett. So end of the bench guys, no disrespect, are under contract to at least next year. Um, Joe is signed to 27, 28. I think that's an option he got on end. It's probably Chet. Chet has one more year on his deal. Usually they, extend guys like this with a year left. So Chet probably will get a big time extension this offseason. Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams as well. I'm definitely interested in with some of the other young guys. Kaysen got 2 more years on his contract, but he might get an extension at some point. But it's just going to be interesting in my opinion what, because they're paying Caruso's getting 18 million, Hartenstein's getting 28.5 next year. He's getting a little less than it. So them are, and obviously Shay's getting the big money, but that's to be expected. So what concerns me is obviously everybody's been talking about it is the second apron and this new NBA or the CBA contract I should say. So I don't know how. I gotta look into it some more on how they could finesse it. But obviously, if I had to take a guess, niggas gonna have to take a pay cut. So them niggas, I don't know if they'll come together and be like, we'll all take some off the head so we all don't lose that much money collectively, or one guy's just gonna take. Somebody's going to, if they want to keep Jalen Williams, Shea, and Chet together, somebody's got to take a pay cut. Easy. Some I don't know if they just gonna be like, hey, one guy's just gonna be like, hey, I'll take the pay cut, or they'll they'll just be like, hey, we'll all take some off the head, so we'll all lose money collectively, but nigga, obviously when you win, you get that money back, endorsements and all kind of shit. Your face gonna be everywhere, the parade, all kind of shit. So definitely gonna be interested to see how they gonna do the money with OKC. But as a team, they'll be back next year. I it's going to obviously repeating is damn near not a thing anymore. But if I had a candidate to repeat, it would be them. Just because the youth, the depth, if I had a candidate, it just would be them. So that would be my guess. So last thing I am going to do on this video, because I did it last week with the bang to the Magic. So obviously I'm going to talk about, this came out the day before the game, Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets. I love it. And I don't think I got much more thoughts than that. I mean, obviously now the starting lineup will probably be Van Vliet, Amin, KD, Jabari Smith, and Segun. Then you have Eason. Who else coming off the bench? I'm forgetting a couple niggas. I can't remember their team. I'm talking about. I know Eason. And who else on that team? Hold on. Who coming off the bench? Oh, Reed Shepard, Steven Adams, because I Steven Adams did sign, Cam Whitmore. So they still got great depth. Um, Still got great depth. They probably would they do got Steven Adams, I'm tripping. So yeah, they still got great depth. Even though they traded away Green, Dylan Brooks, and a couple picks. More than a couple, quite a few picks. But I was talking about this earlier this week. I felt like Green was the one going to be traded. I felt like the Rockets at this point, they see Amin and Segun as untouchables. Definitely Amin. Amin's potential is through the roof with his athletic ability and him, when the game starts to slow down for him, he's just so young. Defensive potential. His shit is through the roof. Segun, his skill, obviously, we don't know. He's baby Jokic. Obviously, I don't know if he'll become as good as Jokic. Of course, I don't think he'll become the best player on the planet, but Segun is definitely going to be a great player for a long time. So I do love the team. Now, how good? Now I don't know like how good I do think they match up against other teams in the West. That's definitely going to be interesting to see next season. If I had to go off the top of my head, I don't think they're better than the Thunder. Um, I'm kind of as the Nuggets look right now, it's an interesting matchup for me. I don't think they match up well with the Nuggets for the simple fact Jokic doesn't. The last 2 times we've seen Jokic lose in the playoffs, and OKC was the only team I've ever seen have Jokic have 3 bad shooting games in a row. But the last 2 times, Minnesota and then OKC, they both had 2 bigs. You can't really do that. I don't think you could do that with the Houston Rockets as they are constructed, because playing Sagoon and Steven Adams together is a nightmare on defense. Somebody's going to get. They don't have that big who's as mobile as Chet or as mobile as. Well, I ain't gonna lie, Cat wasn't that mobile, so maybe they do. Cat's not exactly what Chet is. They don't have an Evan Mobley of because that would be when you put a two bigs out there. I'm thinking of Jaren Jackson, Evan Mobley, Chet, somebody who's great defensively that can play multiple positions. So they don't. Obviously Segun or nor Steven Adams match that up. So I wonder about that matchup against Denver. Um, Minnesota. I do like their matchup against Minnesota, especially with Mike Conley getting older year. Rob Dillon. If they Rob Dillon steps into that starting role, he's just gonna be very unexperienced against somebody like Fred VanVleet. Great. They got a great defensive wing for Ant. I don't, Rudy Gobert is going to, be himself, but Rudy Gobert, I don't think they got enough. Their defense is great. I don't know if they got enough offense because Kevin Durant, as good as Jaden McDaniels is, and that's going to be a good matchup, Kevin Durant's lining up anybody who steps in front of him. So let's just be honest. So I don't know. Honestly I don't know how they match up to. It's definitely interesting seeing. It definitely puts them in the, I would say, not the upper echelon, but the top half of the better teams in the West. I mean they already were the number 2 team in the damn the damn West, but the West is a bloodbath. So I think they're definitely better than teams like the Warriors. It depends what the Lakers do as far as a big man in depth. So that I definitely think they're a great team with KD. So that's really all I got to say today. All I got to say today. So like, share, subscribe, comment. IG TikTok on the video, and we out.